Remember these? Now, through this 6-month turbulent timetable of consumer revolt, virtually every major website has found its neck affixed to the proverbial chopping block. Escaping curiously unscathed, however, by the oncoming wrath of Gamergate is the field that formed the basis for the fundamentally unscrupulous financial structure of contemporary gaming journalism. Polygon, Kotaku, and Rock Paper Shotgun didn't just wake up one day and decide, hey, let's be a cunt-lapping cabal of bought-out bitches. The field evolved from that corruption, spawned from it, in fact, because long before there were URLs and mailing lists, there were SKUs and mailing lists. Print motherfucking journalism, folks, and no institution is more steeped in or emblematic of the omnipresent orgy of corruption in gaming journalism than fucking Game Informer. This is a magazine that was first sold in, then sold by, then purchased by an actual video game retailer. Pause and stew in that beef broth for a bit. A retailer went from stocking a magazine to printing it, transforming Game Informer in their own personal propaganda mill in the process overnight. Hype like, oh, it's worth getting a PS3 just for this game, in reference to the protracted mediocrity that is Resistance Fall of fucking Man, or this is one of the best MMOs yet released, in reference to Age of fucking Conan, a calculated attempt to move more product at GameStop? I wouldn't necessarily go quite that far. When you're owned by the foremost video game retailer in the world, and the primary vehicle for delivering its untrammeled propaganda, I think the implied editorial direction then becomes, and always will be, wherever possible, err on the side of positivity. I'm of the earnest opinion that Game Informer almost single-handedly skewed review scores across all websites and publications for all time. And by skewed, I refer, of course, to the omnipresent traditional 10-point scale of 7 to 9 signifying good, 10 being perfect, and anything lower than 6 having the unbridled allure of a school shooting. IGN, GameSpot, and The Escapist have all devoted articles to this topic. Jim Sterling, during his reign of dissonance and Destructoid, nevertheless devoted an entire editorial to this subject, yet no one has apparently considered the fact that the most popular print magazine in all of gaming, being owned by the biggest retailer in all of gaming, might have had a hand in causing the 10-point scale to skew fucking upward. I hold an issue in my hand from 2009. Far from a banner year for gaming, that in 25 reviews boasts not one that ranks below a 5.5, I repeat, in 2009. December to be exact. That's the lull month that happens after the holiday season when few to flat 0 titles are even motherfucking released. A bad game isn't a 6 or a 7, you colluding cuntflaps. A bad game is a 1 or a 2. Case in point. I now hold in my hand a review for Tony Hawk The Ride that is 6 out of 10. You cannot tell me that score isn't about spitting a bad game as mediocre so that GameStop can move the metric shitload of Tony Hawk skateboard peripherals they'll be stacking in their storerooms to the ceilings with otherwise. And then there's what they construe as journalism. Now, throughout this video, I've centered chiefly around the December 2009 issue, and for one reason alone. Because it also happened to be issue number 200, a special edition, and its cover story thusly chronicled what they accredited as the top 200 video games of all time, with an oversized pixelated figure of Super Mario himself, just to let you know they're serious. And then you make the mortal error of cracking the fucker open. Look, all top 200 lists are inherently subjective, I'm well aware, and in an age where YouTube top 10 clickbait is the shovelware of streaming video services the world over, I'm well aware there's no shortage of rivals, but believe me when I tell you that this is truly among the elite of utter dog shit lists. If you require a nice sustained belly laugh at any point in your fucking lives, I just emerged from the guffaw-induced coma 5 fucking minutes before I started recording this goddamn video. Final Fantasy X above Deus Ex. God of War above Mega Man 2. Metal Gear Solid 2, the acknowledged ass crack of the Metal Gear series, 110 places above Thief the Dark Project. Fuck you in the throat with a loaded shotgun. You ever run into that shitheel kid in Walmart, grumble to yourself, where does that tremulous little ankle-biting terror get it from, only to later encounter the child's parental units and find yourself audibly uttering the word, oh, Online gaming journalism is the walking CPS report, knocking action figures off the racks at will, with a diaper leaking a trail of trashiness from children's apparel to cosmetics. And print magazines like Game Informer are the human refuse that were never adequately educated in the merits of a well-made prophylactic. Blame the offspring if you must, but don't forget who they fucking got it from. I'm RazörFist. God fucking speed!
Just because you're in the backseat, you see it on the TV screen, don't